my question is, what do you have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, they are a
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money. They have no anything. They're fighting so hard to survive. If I can help them survive in a free world, I happen to like the president of Argentina. I think he's trying to do the best he can. But don't make it sound like they're doing great. They are dying.
Everybody's wound up today because Trump says we're going to import all this beef from Argentina. We're going to lower our beef prices because the beef's too expensive here. And I thought I'd throw my 2 cents in. First of all, it's not really a new thing to import beef. We've imported beef in this country for a long time. What is new, however, is the government getting involved because of the prices and saying the beef prices are too high. We're going to make a deal. We're going to buy a bunch of beef from Argentina, and we're going to undercut the American farmers and ranchers who are finally making some decent money. And that's just, it's a socialist mindset, if you ask me. That's not what I've grown up thinking as an American market, supply and demand. Where did that go?
Hello good people guys, welcome back to this new episode, and of course if you're new here, please subscribe. Now, imagine cheering for a man who promised to put America first, only to wake up one day and find out that he's buying Argentinian beef instead of buying American beef. Yeah, MAGA cattle ranchers are furious right now because Trump is buying from Argentina, not from the American farmers. The same folks who wore the red hat, waved the flags and shouted, "Buy America," they just got imposed reality check. Guys, let's watch this clip, then come back and have a talk.
Who knew that importing beef from Argentina was going to leave American farmers and ranchers questioning Trump's loyalties? First, the tariff wars undercut American soybean farmers, and now Trump is importing beef from Argentina. They want to know what's going on here. It turns out President Trump is threading the needle. While he's making deals with Argentina to keep China out of our backyard, he also has to face the reality that beef prices have not come down, and the American consumer feels it every time they check out at the grocery store. By allowing a fraction of Argentine beef into the US, he's putting just enough pressure on domestic producers to keep prices in check. And that's where the tension comes in. Ranchers are frustrated because they've seen stable profits thanks to strong demand, even at all-time high prices. But Trump has to decide, does he prioritize the producers of an industry or the pocketbooks of 330 million Americans heading into the holiday season? It's a complicated issue. We can't get hysterical or treat this like betrayal, because sometimes leadership means making uncomfortable trade-offs for the betterment of all Americans, not just one segment. Maybe the real answer isn't blocking imports, but removing the red tape that drives up producers' costs so ranchers can grow their herds and compete freely. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing: affordable food, strong farms, and a stable America. Let me know what you think in the comments.
So I'm very happy about that. We're going to do something very quickly and easily on beef to get it down. The ranchers understand that. They're so happy for what I've done. I saved them. I don't think you'd have any beef in this country if I didn't do that. So we're very proud of that.
What I understand is, with all this imported beef, it actually is increasing the cost of your beef in the stores, because if we can produce it here and you don't have all the transportation costs, it saves the packer money, saves the consumer money to get it on the shelves. I don't understand why it wouldn't be much cheaper for us to be able to produce it here at home like we've always done until very recently. It's what made America great 100 years ago, because we could provide for ourselves and export to other nations our surplus.
Demand hasn't slowed down one bit, which has led to the cyclical rise of the increase of beef prices. So lower stock of beef, higher demand for beef, prices are likely to continue to rise for the next couple of years. We can teach you how to cook and how to buy those cheaper cuts to stretch and last. Everybody wants those nice tender middle steaks, but if you want to buy those, your wallet has to be prepared to start taking a hit. It's such a limited amount. Prices going up on boxed beef all over the country.
Welcome to We Told You So, episode 164. I don't know what you guys look like when you get out of bed, but me, I'm bringing sexy back. People like myself have been shouting since Trump's first administration that tariffs and trade wars just jack up the prices here on us at home. Meanwhile, he and his gullible voters seem to think that tariffs are the magical answer for everything. In fact, the tariffs in his first administration put such a strain on farmers that he had to bail them out for billions of dollars. Now they're saying they need to be bailed out for even more. And Trump said he would love to do that, but he can't because it's on delay because of the shutdown. The shutdown that he and the Republicans caused by trying to take away health care from people, which the Democrats have said is a red line. With the plan that Trump and the Republicans are trying to implement, people's health care costs are going to fucking skyrocket. But now Trump is also not just screwing over soybean farmers, he's now screwing over the beef farmers. Remember when everyone on the right was so pissed off because Fox News told you that Joe Biden was coming for your gas stoves and your burgers? Well, because of these tariffs, the price on beef has gone up about 20%, because manufacturers are now boosting up their prices because of the tariffs. And Trump's answer is to say fuck the American beef farmers and just start importing more beef from Argentina. And all of these Trump-humping farmers are now like, wait a minute, aren't we making America great again? No, you're making Argentina great again. Because you're all fucking gullible morons. Meanwhile, Robert Reich pointed out that the people who donated for Trump's expensive ballroom are people like Google and Palantir, people who directly have profited or will profit off of Trump's bullshit. Once again, for the people in the MAGA who claimed for years that they cared so much about insider trading going on in Congress, they don't care when their God King does it and when he blatantly robs the American fucking people. Much like how he wants to take $200 million of taxpayer money and have the DOJ pay him that money because of all of the indictments that he received, because he's that much of a fucking vengeful crybaby. And while this is not directly political, Europol recently took down a massive sim farming network that was powering 49 million fake online accounts. This is one of the many ways that the rich people in this country control the narrative. How many of these millions of fake accounts are actually moonlighting as Trump supporters? How many of them are pro-Russia bots? We have to remember that millions of the people online that we supposedly engage with are not real people. They're just phantoms that are made to make us believe that we are the minority and that the psychopaths are the majority, when in reality there's far fewer of them than we think, which unfortunately is what helps shape the narrative from the people on the right, that they think that Donald Trump is some massive job creator, when Barack Obama actually created nearly 12 million jobs during his time in office, and with the 400,000 measly jobs that Trump has created in 9 months, he's still at a net negative 2.3 million. MAGA is still celebrating Trump as a job creator when he has done nothing but lose American jobs. And yet these people who have to keep trying to convince themselves they are patriots have no problem with Donald Trump destroying the White House that has been a symbol of our country for hundreds of years. And while he and his syphilitic sycophants claim that he's going to be president in 2028 whether we like it or not, and it's against the fucking Constitution. All because they subscribe to that stupid originalist Constitution bullshit, saying that everything since the Reconstruction era is invalidated, because everything boils down to their 200-year-old axe to grind that they lost the Civil War. And ironically, while Trump is on his revenge tour of trying to get back at all of the people who called him out for being a criminal and a bully, let us not forget that the rich asshole tyrant version of Biff Tannen in Back to the Future was modeled after Donald Trump. Thomas F. Wilson, who played Biff Tannen in the series, said that he's since been reached out to by bullies. People who have been forced in their lives as an adult to go out and apologize to people and realize that the things that they have done have made them who they are and what they have to do to make amends. Thomas F. Wilson in real life is actually a hell of a guy. But this is where art and reality differ, because don't expect Donald Trump to ever apologize for any of the horrible things he has ever done in his fucking life. This has been We Told You So. I'm really hoping this regime ends before it ends me.
MAGA right now, they're absolutely outraged over the fact that Mr. America First, Donald Epstein Island Trump, is bailing out Argentina's farmers before helping cattle ranchers here in the U.S. Take a look at what MAGA is saying. Here's MAGA cult ambassador, big brain Tommy Lauren. She says, why the actual hell would we buy Argentinian beef? Our American ranchers are getting crushed already by cheap shit foreign beef imports. The meat packers are already undercutting our American producers as it is. This is an outrage. Hashtag American beef. Hashtag Argentina. Tommy, you're almost there. Continue putting the pieces together, and you might find out that Donald Trump never cared about America's farmers. He never cared. Otherwise, why would he be putting tariffs on everything farmers need to import from other countries in order to keep their costs from skyrocketing? Why would Trump be allowing rural hospitals to shut down across the nation while simultaneously adding nearly $4 trillion to our national deficit. Donald Trump was never America first. And the sooner you realize that, Tommy Lauren, and the sooner you tell your colleagues, the sooner we can get out of this mess.
Okay, elephant in the room. Everybody's talking about it. No, it's not Group 7. Trump and the cow market and bringing in Argentina beef. We're direct to consumers. We sell direct to consumer. We have no middlemen in what we do. We are our own preconditioners. We're on feed yard. We do everything. And our pricing structure has been set. It was set 2 years ago. We've been relatively the same the entire time, pretty consistent. And now prime beef in grocery stores has outrun us by $1.50 a pound, if you can find it in the grocery stores. Here, it's always prime. So what sucks for the American rancher is these ranchers that are still going, they've survived floods, they've survived droughts, they've survived wildfires, they've survived crappy cattle markets where you're just barely breaking even, and then trying to hand that down for the future generation and do things different and right. And you finally get a market where you can get ahead a little bit and do some things for the future. You've risked all that to stay in it, and you get a short reward, and then it's yanked out from under you. I understand the fear of that, and that's one of the biggest reasons we did what we did way back in 2016 before COVID ever even happened, was even a thought. And so it sucks for the American rancher if that is the case and what they really try to do. But at the same time, it may not be as much imports as what you think, and it's also not the ranchers, or they're not the ones setting the prices. It's the big four packers. There's a conglomerate that's already paying out because they've been sued for price fixing. So let's start there. And but that's my take on it. We're still going to be here selling beef. So come see us at 830 West Commerce Street, Brownwood, Texas. You can check us out on www.essential-beef.com. And we do ship across the United States. So y'all have a good day. Eat Brown County beef.
Trump told the cattle ranchers to get fucked and like it. And when they all started whining about him importing Argentine beef. Let's get into it. So this account here, Merriweather Farms, they've been over on Twitter kissing Trump's ass for years. I'm going to get out of the way, pause it so you can read it all, and then I'll get my fat face back in here. We love and support you, POTUS, but your suggestion to buy beef from Argentina, blah, blah, blah. I love this part too. On top of all of this, the only chaos is coming from the Department of Agriculture. There is no true guidance, mismatching the copious amounts of photo ops. The cattle ranchers are pissed, and Trump could give a fuck less. Here's what he told the cattle ranchers after they were whining about him importing the beef. The cattle ranchers don't understand that the only reason they are doing so well for the first time in decades is because I put tariffs on the cattle coming into the United States. If it weren't for me, they would be doing just as they've done for the past 20 years. Terrible. Let's see what the Cattle Ranchers Associations think about it and how well they're doing. This is a tweet from the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. Cattlemen and women cannot stand behind President Trump while he undercuts the future of family farmers and ranchers by importing Argentine beef. It is imperative that POTUS and Secretary Collins lets markets work without interference. If the administration is truly an ally of America's cattle producers, we call on him to abandon this effort to manipulate markets and focus on these things. It don't sound like they're doing too well to me, does it? I love nothing more than when he pisses in his supporters' faces and tells them to enjoy it. He tells them they're doing great when they're not doing great. It's what he does to the entire fucking country all the time. So I fucking love it when his supporters get it thrown right in their fucking faces what is happening in this country. And then they want to whine and cry about it. Look, let me tell you something. You don't owe these people any empathy. No one who voted for Donald Trump deserves your empathy. If they're losing their farms, if they're losing their ranches, if they're losing their health care, if they're losing their food assistance, they do not deserve your empathy. They show no one else any empathy. These people, these ranchers, these farmers, none of these Trump voters gave a fuck if he was harming other people. So do not give them the empathy that they do not deserve.
So I live in an ultra-conservative MAGA community. I was raised to be ultra-conservative and MAGA, but our community was actually built on cattle ranchers. And yes, every single one of these cattle ranchers in my community have been diehard MAGA. So I want to read the letter that Trump wrote to them. To the cattle ranchers, who I love that I was able to hoodwink for their vote. They are too stupid to understand that the only reason that they could possibly have any success is because I, Donald J. Trump, taxed them and their consumers with the tariffs that I placed on foreign nations. In fact, if it weren't for me, they would have to go back to doing whatever it is that they were doing before the days of cattle ranching. But it would be nice if they understood that. But these cattle ranchers need to get their prices down, because the truth is, I never cared about America First or the American farmer. If you don't believe me, just look what I did to the soybean market. I just sent $40 billion to Argentina to influence their elections. So that's why you, the American farmer, cannot have health care. And to the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, I read your response about how you cannot stand behind me. Well, I warned you, all you had to do was vote for me this one time, and that would be it. So thank you.
I hope you guys know how interesting things are about to get. Many of us on the left have been warning Trump supporters that Donald Trump is a toxic narcissist, as is much of the administration, and everybody eventually gets burned, and you're going to get burned. And American cattle farmers right now, we are watching a full-blown narcissist attack against cattle farmers. So if you don't know what's going on, Trump has decided that because beef is so expensive because of his tariffs and his deportations, he's going to purchase beef from Argentina. And by flooding the market with more beef, bring the costs down for all of us. And the immediate response of the American cattle farmers, almost overwhelmingly, they probably voted for Donald Trump, are like, what? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? This is hurting us. And here's where it gets interesting. Trump responded exactly like a narcissist. He essentially...
Trump's grand plan to start buying beef from Argentina is not popular. This is why he just tweeted this just probably less than half an hour ago. The cattle ranchers, who I love, don't understand the only reason they are doing so well for the first time in decades is because I put tariffs on cattle coming into the United States, including a 50% tariff on Brazil. If it weren't for me, they would be doing just as they've done for the past 20 years. Terrible, because what does he know about cattle ranching? Really, what does he know about it? Absolutely nothing. It would be nice if they would understand that, but they also have to get their prices down, because the consumer is a very big factor in my thinking also. Sir, they also have to earn a living. These are people that probably predominantly voted for him. And he's over here doing that abusive relationship rhetoric. Not for me, then you would be so horribly off. Now, this tweet is a reply to the pushback that he has been getting from saying that we need to start buying beef from Argentina. That has not been popular, like I said, even among MAGA. I've even been reading in comment sections people that are pretty historically pro everything that he does. Is they're now saying things like this I don't agree with. And so a narcissist, an abuser, they don't like, they're insecure, they don't like when people disagree with them. That's why No King's Day pissed him off. And it pisses him off that there's articles like this. This tweet, I guarantee you, is a reply to articles like this. This was published yesterday. The headline, Why U.S. Cattle Ranchers Say Trump's Argentine Beef Import Talk is No Solution to Domestic Supply Threat. Again, these are what the cattle ranchers, the experts in that field. Trump has this, and his whole administration have this thing where they don't like to listen to experts. Of course, you can pull this up to read it yourself. You see the headline and the source right there. But the key points from this article, President Donald Trump floated the idea of importing Argentine beef after his administration's recent bailout plan for the cash-strapped Latin American nation. Remember, we've given like 40 million or something like that money to Argentina. America first? Other key points, U.S. cattle farmers are not happy with what they say would amount to market manipulation to drive down beef prices that hit a record this year. Cattle farmers say dwindling herds due to drought, now at the lowest level since the 1950s, threat of new world screwworm, the reason the government's not doing enough to fix these issues. Just buy beef from Argentina, which does not fix anything at all. So that's why we have tweets like this. If you are a cattle rancher, or if you know somebody who is a cattle rancher, let me know your perspective on this.
On that day, the stock price of Tyson Foods, a leader in the U.S. cattle industry, fell 2%, while food retail stocks, like Walmart and Target, saw slight rebounds as the market speculated consumers might see cheaper beef. By the end of the year, now look at the foreign exchange market. Dollar's recent performance is quite interesting. On the surface, it appears strong, bull. It is actually being pressured by political risks. The Republican Party is beginning to split. End rising. Uncertainty drives capital towards safe havens. Gold briefly surged, while U.S. Treasury yields slightly declined, indicating that the market is pricing Trump's beef diplomacy. When viewed within a larger framework, the U.S. economy currently finds itself in a rather awkward position, trying to control inflation while fearing that its voter base may falter, wanting to present America first to the world, needing to rely on imports to stabilize prices. The result is policy reversals and market volatility, with the stock market watching both the data and the White House's reactions. This beef incident is not just a small trade conflict, but a re-emergence of internal economic contradictions in the U.S. Trump hopes to use a piece of Argentine steak to solve America's inflation crisis. But before that beef is even imported, he has already scorched his own voter base.
So your boy Trump is pretty easy to manipulate. Apparently all you have to do is bring a chainsaw to CPAC and give that as a gift to Elon Musk, and he will buy your midterms for you, which is exactly what he did over the weekend. Only cost $20 billion on the front end and $20 billion on the back end at the expense of the American taxpayer. MAGA, make Argentina great again. Also, he's committed to buying beef from Argentina, which is going to fuck over U.S. ranchers. Not only that, he's fucking over soybean producers in America because of his tariffs on China. Guess where China now gets its soybeans from? Argentina, you guessed it. So we are 3 for 3 now. Funny, the population of Argentina is approximately the same as the number of SNAP benefit recipients in the United States, about 45 million or so, give or take. Also funny, the number of people in the United States that use the Affordable Care Act, also around 45 million. Crazy. So instead of that money going to that 45 or so million of SNAP benefit recipients, or 45 million people that use the ACA, it's going to the 45 million people in Argentina. That is awesome. You guys are good. I mean, amazing work here we're doing for Argentina. Make Argentina great again. It's not even America last. It's Argentina first. It's ridiculous. And you guys support it. You voted for it. And it's only going to get worse the next 3 years. And let me tell you something. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I didn't vote for Bill Clinton. I didn't vote for Obama. I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. I should have voted for Hillary Clinton. Big mistake on my part and a lot of other people's parts after what we've seen in the last 10 years. But I am not coming from the perspective of a liberal. I'm an independent. I've always voted third party. I've always voted for the person that aligned mostly with my values. So if Trump and MAGA Republicans are the people that align mostly with your values, fuck you. I mean, really, fuck you. You voted for this, you deserve what you get. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. And I know we're not going to get y'all back, and I'm okay with that. I'm not worried about getting y'all back. You're going to live in this fantasy world for the rest of your bleak existence. Go for it. That's great. I just want enough people back to get rid of Trump and enough MAGA Republicans so the Democrats could take the House and the Senate back and the White House back. And then we can end all this bullshit and put us back on the road to recovery. So, with that, have a good day. Go MAGA.
Now guys, welcome back and let's have a chat. Now, MAGA ranchers found out that Trump's latest business deal sources beef from Argentina, not from the US ranchers. These are the same ranchers who donated, campaigned, and even believed he'd save the American farming. Now, they are watching him import what they produce every day. So shocking. So shocking because for them, it feels like a betrayal from their own American first hero. The man who should defend America, the man who should build America, the man who should buy from America and promote America is buying beef from another country, Argentina, but not from America. We need to understand that Trump built his brand on slogans like Buy America and Protect Our Farmers. But when profits come first, patriots suddenly gets quiet. It's not the first time either. Many of his branded products, from ties to wine glasses, were made overseas, not within America. It now turns out that America First was not America First, it was Trump's first. Because it is him first, not America first. Why does Trump buy from Argentina? Because Argentina produces cheap grass-fed beef that's booming in the global markets, with lower cost, fewer labor rules, and bigger profits. And the American ranchers are saying that they can't compete with the Argentina because American regulations and feed prices are higher than compared to how Argentinians are getting them. So Trump went to where the profits margin are, even if it meant undercutting his own voters. He had to go. So with this, MAGA farmers became so furious, the MAGA ranchers. They went to the social media very angry, saying words like, we fought for him, now he is fighting against us and fighting for himself. Some MAGA farmers or ranchers are saying that they finally see who Trump is, that Trump's loyalty is to money, not to the land. Others still defend him, though blaming the Biden's economy instead of the man writing the checks. But deep down, many feel abandoned, realizing they backed a businessman, not a savior. This isn't just about beef, it's about the hypocrisy. The same people who mocked others for outsourcing jobs just watched their own industries get outsourced. It imposes how American policies sells loyalty to the working class people while serving corporate interest. It also shows how easily patriotism gets traded for profits. Because for years, Black and some Latinos had warned that these politicians don't care about the color. They only care about the control. And now, the MAGA ranchers are learning the hard way. The system doesn't love them, okay? It only uses you until you stop being profitable. So, while MAGA ranchers shout America first, their beef is coming from South America. That's not just an irony. That is a full course meal of hypocrisy. Because when it comes to business, Trump will always pick money first, not America first. And now, the same ranchers who trusted him to protect their livelihood are learning what it feels like to be sold, are learning what it feels like to be betrayed one stick at a time. So guys, if you love this video, please subscribe and leave us a comment in the comment section, guys. And thank you so much for watching this video. And guys, if you love these videos, please subscribe.